Right. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the She's Making an Impact podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Ngom. Today we're doing some on-air coaching and I'm so excited about it. So this is something that we offer exclusively to our Activate students. Activate is my 12-month program where we're working with our students to help them grow their online business from the ground up. We call it business in a box, and I actually started calling it's like getting an online MBA. Which is a lot of fun. So if you are interested in learning more about how we can work closely together over the next 12 months, go to rachelngom.com/activate. I've got one of our beautiful students here. Hello, Miss Grace. How are you?
Hi, Rachel. I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. You look beautiful. I already told you that, but
you.
I'm like, oh, I just got my hair in a ponytail. I'm like,
it's okay,
yes,
girl.
I showered today, so it is a win. Yeah, so this is your time. So why don't you tell us really quickly what your business is so they have context, and then we can dive into how I can support you.
Sounds great. So I am a furniture refinisher and I am moving to digital content because of many reasons. Again, refinishing furniture is like one of those trade time for money kind of things. And I want to have a passive income or income that is generating revenue when I'm in the garage painting or sleeping or on vacation or whatever.
Yeah,
and that is why I am here.
That? Yes, exactly.
Totally. So, what I am doing is I have an interior design background and I also am an artist. So I love painting furniture. It kind of meshes both worlds for me. And it's really what I've discovered is my passion over the last 6 years. And so I want to teach people how to incorporate not just color or of paint or anything like that on their piece of furniture, but how to like a workbook on how to work it out so you can make your furniture match your interior design style that's uniquely you or uniquely Grace or whatever.
So fun.
So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And I have gone through, I think it's a month and a half almost now of Activate.
Yeah.
And I am in the process of moving forward into course creation. And
Woo!
that is where I have most of my questions today.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
All right. So my biggest takeaway today is going to be worthiness and value to the customer. So worthiness, not as much as I'm worthy to do this, because I know that's a mindset thing and we've worked on a lot of that and I constantly work on that daily.
Yeah.
But more like creating enough value so that the customer, like you talk about like how much value it should be versus the cost, right?
Yep.
And how much you're putting into it. So I worked out a bunch of stuff last night and I kind of broke it down for what I was giving and what I would like to give in my course and the bonuses I'd like to give and the value for the VIP then and option and things like that.
Awesome.
And so I just want to kind of like see if I'm on the right track. I'm one of those people that tend to undervalue sometimes my knowledge and experience, and I just want people to enjoy the process more than value what I'm worth with it. So that's kind of like my thing. I think a lot of creatives do that in general because we create from the heart and that means a lot to us when somebody appreciates that instead of that is a value to us instead of a monetary value. And so we tend to bring the monetary value to a lower level than it should be for what we're doing.
Can you do both?
Yeah.
Can you add value and have them enjoy and say, oh my gosh, I love this. And can you make money doing it?
Yes, you can. And I think that's one of the biggest struggles that creatives have in general. And so I actually will have a physical product as well as a digital product. So I've got a unique situation where not everything I'm doing is digital, but I will also get that when the customer picks it up, they'll get like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Hopefully, right?
They will. Of course they will.
Ideal. But so I have that as well. I'm hoping on doing less of that though. So I'm not so reliant on that for income because it's capped at my time.
Yep.
So I've discovered through that avenue of pricing, like just going from paying myself minimum wage basically to paying myself the last piece I sold, I made over $50 an hour on.
Woo-hoo!
So, but it's still a certain point where it caps off and you can't charge like thousands of dollars for, I'm talking like tens of thousands of dollars for a single dresser. Like that's just not a possibility in the marketplace. So
no, but you can with what you're doing with Activate, which is exciting, isn't it?
Exactly. So then I can still have fun, keep my hands dirty, and create content with that, transferring to the digital world and such. So, so my breakdown of value, I have calculated, it's basically kind of set up like the blog to bank challenge was as far as time. So it's 5 days with a bonus 6th day. And it is 1 hour for your basic e-course. And then the VIP gets an hour after for 5 of those days. So with that aspect,
so your course, you're selling your course as like a do it with me over the course of 5 days.
Yes.
And you're doing 2 options, regular, VIP.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Moving on.
So mainly the first hour is going to be instruction as far as like why we need to look at interior design and how we need to tap into the design trends that are coming out in all these amazing outlets like El Decor or, Southern Living or whatever that style is that you love and that your clients, if you're selling and flipping, or if you just are decorating your home, whatever that style is in your area that's popular or in your own home that you want. And so it's instruction on how to work with that and how to make it like implement that into your furniture design so it all works harmoniously together.
Okay.
So that first hour is the instruction on that. I go over things about color theory. I go over things about paint quality of tools, and I go, all that kind of stuff within that hour in a slideshow type presentation. There will be for 3 techniques that I teach during the week. And those techniques are, we'll have like a 15-minute or 10-minute video that I will play live within that slideshow as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the VIP section is going to basically be paint with me. Like we're flipping an entire piece of furniture this week and we're doing it step by step and it's going to be casual. People will be able to open their mics and talk to me and ask questions as I'm doing it. And even work on their own piece during that hour as well. So they can show me their questions and I can answer them too.
I love it.
So
you're gonna be putting a lot in here. What I do when it comes to pricing is I do like a brain dump of everything that's included and then what the value of each thing could be. So if I were to do like an hour of my time, what is my time worth? What's your hourly rate? Right. If I were to offer, let's say like cloning our funnels, right? You got that within Activate. What's that worth? I'm like, man, well, I spent $5,000 to get that funnel made personally, but the funnel's made like $1 million, right? So I'm like, what is that worth? So add up everything that's in it and what the value of that would be. And ideally the value of it is 10 times what you're actually charging.
Okay.
So that when you actually come out with the price of, let's say the value of it is like, I don't know.
So I've actually worked it out. I like actually bounced some ideas around some of the other Activate students last night. And kind of got a couple of ideas on what the value is. Overall, I think through everything that I'm going to be offering as the general breakdown plus the extra day of bonuses. The extra day bonus is basically furniture flipping information. Like if you were doing it for profit. So how you can, turn passion into a business. And
I love that you took the idea and you're running with it. I'm like, when I came up with that, I was like, yes, we need to do this. So fun.
So it will include, the bonus will be an extra ebook that will be for that they can download and like a workbook and do the flipping for profit kind of workbook. And then the extra VIP or the extra class, the 6th day will just be instruction, basic breakdown on that. And then the workbook they can take home and do it afterwards. And then they'll also get, I'm going to send a free gift. Like that was something I learned from Activate. I think that was like surprised and amazing. And it was just kind of like, oh, this is awesome. I can't believe they care enough to do this, so that's a little thing I took from that as a bonus as well. So I only have the 2 bonuses. I have the free or the 6th day of instruction for the profit, Painting for Profit. And I'm not going to necessarily call it that. I haven't come up with a name yet. And the ebook or workbook that will be downloadable for them too. So everything said and done, 5 days plus a 6th day bonus is $2,550. And then the VIP, I feel like a one-on-one class like that is worth, for 5 days of an hour a day with me, is worth $497. So that brings it all up to about 3,000, roughly 2,500 for the basic, 3,000 for the VIP with the VIP. I don't know if that's enough or if it's less, because I'm worried I'm underpricing, and I actually was, and this was like the bump up that my Activate friends like helped me get to.
Yeah.
So now I'm running it by you to see if that's something.
Yeah. So that would be the value of it. So what are you actually going to be charging?
So at this rate, I mean, if you did the 10% or the times 10 value, you're looking at like 247 sevens, right?
Good student. For the basic, I love it.
For the basic, and then $47 for the VIP. So
I think the VIP is more.
Do you?
Yeah, I think you could do 247.
Like the one-on-one.
Yeah, 247 for the regular, and then $997 for VIP.
Okay, so you would value that as a higher value then. Totally. This is why I'm running it by you, right? So
yeah, yeah, because they're doing it with you.
Yeah, that's true. And it'll definitely be, smaller classroom size. So, compared to the regular classroom. So it'll be worth it, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what we're going to do is like, instead of the little technique video that they're going to get in the big e-course, they'll get a technique book and then the little 10-minute technique video. Literally, it'll be like step by step, casually asking questions as we do the techniques afterwards, and more like 1 on 5 or 1 on 10, or 1 on 20 if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of question and answer on Zoom afterwards with the casual.
Yeah. So what you could do
classroom.
is the 247, $997. And the goal might not be to get a ton of VIPs. It might just be to make it look like the 247 is less expensive. And so it's like a no-brainer. And then you could even do a downsell after you close cart and offer it as a DIY program that they're not going to get it live, but they can still get access for $197 or $97.
Okay.
And then you could always raise the price. Like as you have people go through it and they're loving it, you could always bump it.
Always good. I've actually done that with an ebook I wrote many years ago. It started off at like $15 and now I'm up to just 25, but it's, over time I'm like, more, I want to get paid more for my service because I do provide like a Facebook group for it too.
Yep.
So one thing I was wondering is I'm offering a Facebook community for this specific course as well, but I want it to be limited time. So what kind of timeline, I mean, with people creating and DIYing and having something tangible, they have to physically like go find a piece, they don't have one already, and then they have to haul it home and they have to, you know what I mean? Like there's a process, and I tend to only try to flip one piece or one set of furniture, together in a week, because it can get overwhelming having like multiple things going on. So I was thinking like either 3 or 4 week window of having access to the Facebook group to be able to ask any questions and be able to share videos with each other and things like that to help work with them.
Yeah, I like it. As long as you think that's fair timing for them, that they can get it done realistically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as long as you set the expectation.
Because then if they can't do it if they can't do it the week that the class is, because they're busy with other things, they can do it a week or two later and still have access.
Just tell them like, hey, we have this Facebook group. You're going to get access to it for a month because I know you might not be able to take action this week, but we're going to give you an entire month's access. After that month, we're going to be closing down this Facebook group, so you'll no longer get access to me directly unless you want to do X, Y, and Z.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
How much would you value that time for that access?
The Facebook group? That could.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's one of my biggest questions with value was that one.
I mean, gosh, it could be like, because that's your time if you're in there every day during the week.
Yeah, I'm monitoring it.
Literally, personally. That could be like $1,000 bonus for an entire month.
Wow, it's way less than I had it at. Way more, I mean.
Yeah.
Way more than I had
like,
it.
Think about what your time is worth, and like depends on how much you're in there and what you're doing and everything. Like if you're going live in there and you're answering all their questions, and like you got to value what your time is worth. Like that could be you spending several hours a week being in there with them.
True.
And then if you times several hours over the course of the month, then you could that easily $1,000, right?
Yeah, because I definitely want to over deliver with that. I don't want to just be like, here's the Facebook group and my class is over. If you have questions, ask, and then not ever show back up in the Facebook group unless somebody asks a question. Like I want to be able to still add value throughout, even if it's just like, I'm painting today, watch me live, come ask questions. And it's just a random Facebook live on the group. But at least they know I'm there. You know what I mean?
You're there. Yeah. And so let them know, like, I'm here to support you. I want to help you see success. I want to help you like get results from doing this with me. So I'm going to be like going live each day during like X, whatever, just like set the parameters so they know what to expect. And we have Tina and Susanna, our other Activate students, are on cheering
Tina was
you
one
on.
Of my, hi, Susanna.
They are cheering you on. Yeah. So Tina goes an expert on demand. That's huge value.
Expert on demand. I like that. I'm writing it down, girl.
Yeah. Tina, that's awesome copy. I love it.
Sorry, I can't like write and talk at the same time. Okay, so Tina was actually one of my consults last night. So definitely
I love it. She's so sweet. Yeah.
Awesome. So that helps boost the value tremendously now. Because that brought another $800 into the value compared to what I was pricing it at. So that's, bumping it up into maybe potentially like 347 for the class instead of 247. So we'll see.
Yeah. So like you could launch it at 247 and then you could let them know next time we're going to launch it, we're going to up the price. And so that's that level of scarcity, right? Like you're going to close the cart and the price is going up.
Right.
Look at what Tina just
like that
said.
Urgency.
She said we activate each other.
Yes.
I love it. I love that, Tina.
She's my go-to girl. Her and I, a few weeks back, actually right after we started Activate, you asked us to connect with other Activate students and to create like little chats on the side and stuff like that would help each other. And her and I were like, right away, she's the one that started working on it. And I was one of the first people that jumped in, and now like, we actually message each other daily for like accountability. And so she's my partner. And she's local.
Love it.
Like, she's actually in my town. So we get to like
that's so
eventually
fun.
go get coffee and stuff. So yeah, it's cool.
Awesome.
So we definitely I love chatting with her. Okay, so that was my first big thing. Like my first big thing for course creation was definitely value to the customer and making sure that I am not undervaluing myself and I'm putting a worthiness value to my own personal time and then still allowing it to be portable for the customers and valuable. Like, want to make sure I'm getting
biggest thing is like
there.
The biggest thing is when you come out, you're confident at 247. And you can say that with confidence because you know how much it's actually worth.
Right. And then like once you get that one done, you're like, okay, now like with my little ebook, it's like even just bumping it up here and there, you feel like there's definitely more value in it, after you see it grow. So yeah. Okay. My next question goes back to Facebook communities. So even though I would need a specific Facebook community just for the courses as they come out, I would like to start growing a educational community around interior design inspired furniture.
Yeah.
And so how would you go about starting and inviting people to that? I actually have a cold email list. I've been trying to warm it up over the last month.
Yeah.
But a previous email list I had was almost 850 emails, and
wow.
I've had quite a few unsubscribes, which is fine.
Yes.
And it narrows it down. And now my open rates are getting better, and things like that. So I have an email list. I have a community there, and should I just invite them, or like
why not?
Okay. And then start doing that. And then that way I can start promoting when new products come out, new content comes out, that, I can share it with people that are already into my tribe.
Yeah. Right? Another thing, we actually talked about this on our coaching call yesterday, is someone wanted to, I think Misty wanted to build her Facebook group. And we're like, why don't you just get like 3 experts come into the Facebook group and teach on a specific topic related to your niche. And then they'll invite their people. Hey, I'm going live in here. And then they'll help you build your group.
Okay. So here's the next question that kind of relates. Webinar summit for the launch the week before.
Do the collaborative event before the launch. That way you actually have a list of people to launch to.
So if I could do that within the Facebook group, it would double time
you could
I do that?
You could. We've always done it like on Zoom and do a Zoom webinar with our speakers as panelists, and then you can stream it live in Facebook.
No, yeah, for sure. Do the Zoom. But I mean, could we use that Facebook group to be where we stream it live too?
Sure.
And then that way they would invite all their people into that, and it would start building that community.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Okay. Sweet.
You think outside the box, right?
Just trying to make I'm always one that's like, work smarter, not harder, right?
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing. So, awesome. So I'll definitely look at scheduling that in. Now for a summit, how many people do you usually, or for a collaborative event, how many people do you usually try to get in?
Depends on if you want them all there live with you. Depends on how many days you want. I was actually just talking to Christina Ginali about this yesterday because I'm a part of a 3-day that she's doing with 30 speakers. And I'm like, which do you prefer, the 3-day or the 1-day? And she was like, I'll let you know after. So it's really about just test and see what you like, because the numbers might it really comes down to the speaker and how they're emailing their list, and are they reaching out. More isn't necessarily better if you have a lot of speakers that aren't emailing or their list is small. So it's better to have a few that are great, because if you have too many, it already kind of feels like it's herding cats. And if you have a lot, then it's going to be like, oh my gosh. And yes. So I would keep it simple and start with a 1-day, and maybe you invite, you have 10 speakers and they can come and go. When I created the module in the process tree all around how to do this, it really is marketing's testing. And so you test and you play with it. And because the first time you do it, it's not going to be the last time you do it. So maybe you try a 1-day, then you try a 3-day, then you just play and see what you like and what resonates with you. Because there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's been people that do it over the course of 2 weeks. And then there's people that do it in 3 hours. I like the 3-hour thing because then it's done. But that's me. So you do you and test it out and see what you like.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm definitely, I'm kind of struggling, but at the same time, I keep writing down people to ask, the people that are related to the industry, but not competing with what you're doing. Yeah. So, and the furniture refinishing DIY industry, it's difficult to not find people who are doing the same thing you're doing, because it's so already niched down.
You got to think outside the box.
So I found this lady. I haven't asked her yet, and who knows if she's gonna ever see this, but she refinishes specifically dining room furniture and reupholsters them, and she does for accent in your entryway, things like that. But her niche is so narrowed down, and I don't refinish. I refinish dining room furniture, but I don't reupholster. That's not kind of my niche at all. Like, I don't really like working with that. When I have to, I'm like, oh, man, but I have to refinish these things. So, but that aspect like would give value to my customers, because it's not something I'm focusing on, but yet at the same time, it's in the same ideal client, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because your ideal client's like the DIY person. They want to learn different DIY projects. And so it could be like a whole DIY thing where you're finding all the DIY people and putting them together.
Right. Awesome. Okay. I'm gonna get you started on that. My list just keeps growing, but that's fine because I keep checking stuff off, right? I mean, it's like, I always tell the girls in our little chat group, I'm like, did you do anything today for your business? Because they're like, oh, I didn't feel like I get anything done. I just felt like I was walking in circles. I was like, did you check some boxes off? Because if you check some boxes off, that's a step forward, and a step forwards will add up. Every baby step, every big step, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Every step's moving forward.
Yes.
So, okay.
And
so,
P.S. Tina's coaching you in the chat too, so you should go back and check it out. Yeah,
I will. Is she on? She's making an impact. Is that where we are?
The Facebook page.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I will go back and look.
Yep.
always gold nuggets with her. I'm always like, dang, the girl.
I know.
So the next question I have for course creation was the copy for my unique message. Like that was part of the workbook. And I just sat there the other night, and yesterday afternoon, something, and I was just like staring at it going, I have no idea what to say that's going to make it functional or make it the hook, I guess. You know what I mean? Like I know what I want to do, and I know why I want to do it. And I know what my one-liner is and all that stuff. But for this,
we need a hook. You're in luck. I was actually working on something, and I have a whole bunch of like hook questions pulled up on my computer over here. Okay. So a hook could be like a statistic. Did you know over X people admitted they want more X? It could be a curiosity question. Have you ever thought about doing X? It could be a story starter. So you start telling a story about where you were, what you were doing. Could be social proof. You could do like a fear of missing out hook. You could do a pain hook. Want to know the number one pain point I see? You could do a core value hook. Want to know how whatever has helped me become a better mom, wife, furniture refinisher. So those are just some examples of different hooks. But when it comes to copy, remember, you can always come up with it and then just post in the Facebook group. And me, Helen, Dawn, all of us can go and give you feedback on that too.
Sorry, I'm still writing.
Yeah,
awesome.
And you could
those
go
are
back
great tips to help with that. Yeah, for sure.
Totally. I would go back and like listen to this on the podcast or go back and watch the Facebook Live. Because you're gonna like hear something else and be like, oh yes.
That is great. Yeah. Yep. That's kind of how it is. I always try to re-listen to things, what do you say? It's the repetition is the mother of.
It could be skill. I've heard skill learning.
You say,
yeah. Repetition is the mother of skill.
It's funny because like I can never remember it, but it's every time something happens, I'm like, repetition is the mother of something positive.
Yes. The more, I spew out Tony Robbins stuff. Like I almost came up with it myself just because I've had him in my brain for like 10 years. And so I'm like, no, this wasn't me. This was Tony, but I just reprogrammed my brain to think kind of almost like how he speaks.
You just say it enough that it's just like,
oh yeah,
you know.
Totally.
Right. All right. So I have my one-liner, and this is kind of going, let me just make sure I've got all my course questions done. All right. So I have my one-liner, but I feel like it's a little wordy. So I've got you and it's just us. I was wondering if you could listen to it and see if we can figure it out a little bit better. Let me minimize.
Let me just make sure. Today is like a crazy, I batch all my things usually on Thursday. So
I don't know how long you wanted this to go. So
I have like 5 more minutes. So let's do it.
Okay, so I teach creatively inspired people how to design their DIY furniture transformations to harmoniously support their unique interior style.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of big words in there. We want to keep it simple. I would get out harmonious. I'm very visual, so can you like type it up and put it in the chat?
Sure.
And are you working with people or women or moms or?
I would say people, and the only reason I want to keep it, or I was thinking of keeping it like that, is because it could be anybody. I don't know. It's really just people who want to have a beautiful home. I mean, I don't know, people's probably too general of a term for that, but so maybe you can help with that too.
Okay. As I'm looking at, I teach creative people. You can get rid of inspired and creatively. I teach creative people how to design their DIY furniture.
Some are beginners though, and are afraid to be creative. So that's one of the reasons I went with creatively inspired. But again, I need to narrow it down. So
yeah, it's so wordy. And like, I definitely do not like harmonious. It's like, I help you do DIY furniture and have fun at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, keep it so simple that you could say it and they could say it back to you.
Okay. That's a key. All right.
You know, like, do they want to have fun? Do they want to be creative? Like, what's that thing that they want? But keep it so simple.
Can I just say I teach you instead of people?
You could.
I mean, would that be?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that still brings it to anyone who wants to learn, right?
Yeah.
So, because I do have a beginner course, I have the basics and stuff like that as well. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, and then I'll change harmoniously, see if I can find.
You don't need another word in there. It's literally just, I help you create DIY furniture and have fun at the same time or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super simple.
So simple. So simple.
Awesome. Yeah. I just felt like it's such a mouthful to try to say. I was like, I've got to figure out a way to like tone it down a little bit.
Tina is coaching you again. I teach you fun designer DIY furniture refinishing.
There you go. That sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check out the notes. So
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's
it.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my list. I've got stuff to do. I've got to get to work.
You do. I'm so proud of you. Like, you've been in Activate for, you said, a month and a half. And it's crazy to see just how much you've accomplished in such a short amount of time. So I'm really proud of you, of what you've already done. And I like, the best is yet to come. So keep working hard, keep showing up, and keep doing your thing. Where can we connect with you?
Oh, okay. So I'm at uniquelygrace design or uniquelygrace.com.
Uniquelygrace.com.
Yep. And there's a freebie available already on there. And I also have my first ebook out. So
amazing. Definitely. So if you want to learn DIY stuff and have some fun with that, definitely check out uniquelygrace.com. Grace, you're amazing. I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And everything that you guys do for us. Thanks again.